Turn now to the homeless crisis, and the results are in for the point-in-time count that provides the latest snapshot of the homeless crisis that is going on in Sacramento County. Joining us to talk about it, Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg. Mayor, nice of you to join us. Congratulations on the numbers that I'm about to talk about.
Thank you.
Which I'm sure pretty surprising. Two numbers here: a 29% decline in overall homelessness over 2 years. What worked now that wasn't working 2 years ago? What was the change here?
Well, first of all, it's not a declaration of victory, right, because there's so much more work to do. But really, it has been a 7+ year effort that has taken some time to reach these results. We have built a foundation since 2016, and the underlying numbers show this. We have dramatically increased the number of beds, tiny homes, shelters, and permanent supportive housing for people. And we've been able to offer people a choice, and most of them have taken it.
Let me ask you this. There are some people unhoused who prefer to remain that way. Some might say 2/3 of people who are out on the streets, you may beg to differ with this, but are not going to become sheltered. So if you're making all the tiny houses you want and beds available, how much of the getting people off the street really works?
Well, the numbers show a 41% reduction in unsheltered homelessness in Sacramento County between 2022 and 2024. That is dramatic progress. It's not the end of the story, but it represents an affirmation, in my view, that the course that we set 7 years ago to build more capacity of all kinds and to offer people a choice is actually working. There are some people who won't take help, but a lot of people are. And for those who won't, we now have new state laws that should make it easier to provide conservatorship and whatever else it takes to get people off the streets.
Right. That 41% you mentioned is one of the biggest drops in the state in terms of unsheltered homelessness. Yes. What is the difference between overall homelessness and unsheltered homelessness?
So 29% represents a drop in homelessness, but that includes people who are in shelters but still considered homeless. The big number is the 41%, because that's a drop in the numbers of people that are actually living in these encampments or living on the riverbank, and that's the number we really want to focus on. Now, for those who are in shelters, there's other good and great news. We had a nearly 30% increase in the number of placements from temporary shelter to permanent housing. So every number in this report shows us moving in a much better direction.
You're looking at scenes here. If you go to Los Angeles, you'll see this. If you go to Portland and Seattle, it's bad. San Joaquin County, their numbers are up 160% since 2022, when Sacramento's numbers were going down. So when people are driving around Sacramento, they're like, that damn Steinberg, he's not doing this and that. But other cities have similar problems or worse. Do you feel unfairly blamed over this period of time, or how do you feel about
Nothing is unfair, because this is what you sign up for, right? And there are always going to be critics and doubters. I suppose I might say that I only need as much credit now as the blame I've received over the last 7 years.
Have you used that before?
I have not.
Okay. So this is
breaking news the first time. But look, here's what I want to say about that. Chasing the shiny objects, the lawsuits, the frustrated initiatives, don't build a single bed. They don't build a single housing unit. They don't create a single bit of wraparound services for people who need them. And they don't break up the tent encampments. You know what does? The work.
You seem to be speaking to the county right now.
No.
How are you guys doing the city and county
I'm speaking
now?
to some of the stakeholders and some of those who have politicized this issue. The county? We are actually, one of the reasons why these numbers are as good as they are is because we are now working in better partnership with the county than ever before. We have a legally binding partnership agreement.
That wasn't always the case.
It wasn't always the case. And that was hard fought. And we got there in 2022, ironically. And now you see between 2022 and 2024, this dramatic reduction. So look, this is a day to, I think, feel good about the trend. It's not a day to give up or to say that
Right.
now the work is done, because the work in some ways is just beginning.
You did mention that early and in the release that this is not victory. It is just encouraging, correct? We'll
Correct.
leave it at-
Absolutely.
Okay.
Abs-
Mayor
yeah.
Steinberg, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Will.
People will be interested to see these new numbers just out this morning on a great decline in homelessness throughout Sacramento and Sacramento County. Mayor, thank you. Concetta.
Thank you, Walt.